If you want to make a reasonably priced chronograph watch, you have a few options, and they can be described as cheap or expensive to us, the end users. You can either go with something like a Sellita SW510 like for instance Faro do, and offer your watch up at around $2,000. Or you can take the other approach and make your watch incredibly affordable using the commonly used Meca-Quartz movement from Seiko. This hybrid movement is much cheaper and of course far less exciting, but you do get the chronograph look and to some extent feel for a reasonable investment. Doing this means you can make a really awesome looking watch that is far more attainable, which is what Yema has done for a while now with their Rallygraf, which you can buy at $399. I can't be the only one that thinks this is a great design that harks back to a 70s car dashboard, and the checkered flags is a nice nod to racing. I have borrowed the Panda and Reverse Panda, but I will concentrate on the classic racing school version in this PVD bronze case and its good looking case and dial. Whilst Yema can't state this, it is an obvious high five to the incredible looking black and gold Lotus race cars that amongst others had Mario Andretti and Ayrton Senna driving competition. We've seen this combo from a few brands since it is such a classic in car racing, but I would argue that this design of Yema's is the king of all the Meca-Quartz based racing inspired watches out there. So if you're thinking about buying one to have it shipped in November 2024, stick around and let's get to know it a bit better. As per usual, I would like to cover sizes first since it is such an important part of making a decision to buy a watch. We get a 40mm diameter, or it's really more of a 39.5, and 47 lug to lug. Lug width is 20mm and is 13.5mm thick. Weight is 68 gram and we get a handy 100 meter water resistance. Checking out the dial here, it is less pronounced with its non-contrasting color scheme, which makes it no less interesting. Starting from the top, we have the Yema wordmark and logo, and the stylized wire looks great here. Just under that, we have the Rallygraf model name and the checkered flags. Following the straight line down, we have France and the date complication with its gold colored frame. On paper, this is a fairly crowded dial, but it works in person, I think. The chronograph function is at the 60-minute counter on the left and the odd-sniggered at about 24-hour indication on the right, which can indicate for you if it's night or day. Whilst that's a bit silly, it does make it ever so quicker to set the date since you can tell which cycle you're in. But it would be nice if Seiko could come up with something a bit more fun one day. We have applied indices all around in the same gilt color with a bit of lume applied and simple hands that are very legible in this color scheme. The overall impression here is an attractive dial that despite its out there color scheme, let's face it, faux gold is not for everyone and it's certainly not for me, but it works incredibly well and I may even be able to picture myself wearing this on occasion. Comparing this to this black one with white dials, which look exactly the same but have contrasting dials, you can see the immediate difference it makes. Not to mention the so-called Panda one that has the black dials and a polished metal dial. There are some great options here no matter your personal preference. Covering all this is a K1 mineral crystal said to be slightly stronger and less prone to scratches than mineral glass, but it's of course not as strong as sapphire crystal. The bulbous shape though is attractive and appropriate to the era we're going for here, and so is the reflections that are ever present. As with most car-inspired watches, we get a tachymetric scale that allows you to calculate the average speed over a distance. You will never do that, but it looks good. The attractive case has had its lug slightly redesigned, which I believe has made it a bit more angular on wrist. It's a good look. The crown features Yema's embossed logo. It's a good size and an easy grip, but it could be slightly larger in my opinion. It's offset by 2 chronograph block pushers, which makes it look and feel like an instrument to measure seconds and minutes. As per usual, you start the chrono via the top pusher and reset with the bottom one. There is no run in seconds other than this function. On the back we get a classic racing school logo, which I think may be a nod to the F1 driving experience that you can have at the former Grand Prix circuit about a 4-hour drive from Paris. Worth googling if you're keen to try some nice old race cars. This is a bit more exciting to look at than the Meca-Quartz movement, for sure. The Rally E leather strap is made by a French manufacturer. It's grained and perforated as these rally straps should be, and we get a signed and color matched buckle. It's also signed underneath, and whilst it's not the most subtle leather I felt, it's a good looking strap, and again fits the 70s vibe here. The BGW9 loom is neither strong nor plentiful, but it's okay I think. These watches are attractive, affordable, and have been designed well to look like the era they're inspired by. You can nitpick and complain about hybrid movements and no sapphire, but that is missing the point in my opinion. These are made at a budget and will handily always tell the right time no matter how long it's been in your watch box, until the battery runs out of course. You get a good leather strap and a chronograph look without the hassle, so there really isn't much to complain about. If the gold is not for you, there are the other options, which even include creamy white ones, a green and a bright blue if you're that way inclined, so you could even afford to buy a couple if you're not sure on the color that best suits you. I think the updated models with their block pushers and this particular one with its gilt case are all very good. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.